Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're good. In my last video, I talked about how we can bring awareness to MS and help support each other through times that we're going through with our MS. And one way in which we can do that is by talking to people and sharing our stories. And I have my first volunteer today. His name is Ed. He's all the way from across the pond from Petaluma in California. And I'm so happy to have him here today sharing his story with us. Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing, Laura?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks so much for coming on today and sharing your story with us. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. This is sort of a relief for people that could communicate. I just realized how much, we really need socialization like this. We're so shut off, and I feel so more relaxed now. I feel great. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No, honestly, for me, I think you just sort of hit the nail on the head there. I feel that there are so many people who struggle with being able to maybe talk about their MS or want to talk about their MS, but don't know where to go, maybe don't have an outlet. So, but also it's very difficult talking about your MS as well. And, it's like you said, it is nice to talk to people. So I appreciate what you're doing today because I know it's difficult, and I know this is your story with MS and you're sharing it with the world, basically. But just going to start by asking you some questions about your MS and, how it affects you, what kind of treatments you've been on, how you cope with it. So if that's okay with you, I'll just kick off by asking you when you were diagnosed with your MS.
Yeah, no problem. I was diagnosed July 13th, 2018, and I was diagnosed with primary progressive MS, multiple sclerosis, PPMS.
PPMS, okay. So you were diagnosed quite recently then, 2018?
That's correct. A lot of things led up to that, like avalanche to lead up to that date. So it went from 2 years, 2016 to 2018 when they started putting a little, just brain farted.
Don't worry, we all do that.
No, and so that's when they realized that I was going down the deep end. I was progressing faster than I should have been without being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at the time yet. So,
so were you having initial symptoms before diagnosis, or was it just that you had your symptoms in 2018, then you were diagnosed quite quickly?
No, I was having symptoms where they were looking at me and telling me I was borderline multiple sclerosis, if you could be that, which is hard for me to understand that, being in the medical field. Yeah. You can't be borderline pregnant, either you are or you're not. And I can't be borderline multiple sclerosis, either you are or you're not.
Yeah.
But back then, that's what they put me at. They labeled me as borderline multiple sclerosis. However...
Sorry, when was this?
I was in my, late 20s.
Oh, okay. So like quite a way back then.
Yeah, it was due to the fact that me being in the medical field and running on the ambulance and being active with mountain bike riding and a bunch of other sports, they were just like, we can't see this on you. We just come back. They sent me to shrinks and mental health and trying to.
Yeah, that's a difficult thing to go through at that age as well. Yeah. Did you feel like you had support? I mean, did you see a neurologist? Did you have doctors to help support you then? Who were you seeing at that time?
Back then, it was a neurologist that actually said I was borderline multiple sclerosis and he'll keep an eye on me, but it wasn't like I was seeing him every 6 months or whatever. He was sending me to see other neurologists for nerve conduction tests or anything like that, but I didn't have a team. I had one doctor, my primary care doctor, who believed I had multiple sclerosis, but he can't make that diagnosis because he's the primary. You have to be diagnosed by a neurologist or someone that's in that field. So his hands were tied. So there you go. They just kept me being young, being in the field, sort of like big time cross-canceled me having MS. My spinal tap I took, I didn't feel it, and they said it was inconclusive. So that was it. We stopped there.
So you say you had this active life. You were out. You were in the field of medical. You had a medical field job. As you said, you were very, very active. Then you had this diagnosis all the way up in 2018. What happened at that point? What symptoms were you having to make you get that diagnosis of MS from all the way back, like, you know, when you were in your 20s and you didn't have that diagnosis? How did they diagnose you in 2018?
So what was happening was I was still in the field working on the ambulance, and I popped a hernia. And I didn't feel it or anything. I popped it, put it back in, and everything else. I think your advisors don't want to hear. Your viewers want to hear disgusting stories. But I had to go to the doctors, and they said I had a hernia, but obviously I did. And they didn't think anything of it at the time. They just thought it was just an injury. Well, I had the hernia repair, and then I popped another hernia. So that's 8 months, almost to a year out of work. Then also what was leading up neurology, I'm trying to be smart here, MS-wise, before I was diagnosed, was that I was having issues urinating.
Right.
I was having issues urinating for a while, but just I would have to sit down and bear down, and I have to push on my bladder. That was what the doctors were recommending prior to what was leading up to now.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was barely unable to urinate. So they sent me to a urologist.
Okay.
And they did a pressure check and everything else. And I wasn't able to void my urine. So all of it.
So that's slightly different to what I would normally hear people going in for. You know, maybe they've had numbness in their leg, or maybe they've had, other symptoms, which leads them then to go on and have like an MRI or a lumbar puncture. So was it your urinary tract infection that led you? Did you go on and have an MRI? Did you have a lumbar puncture, anything like that?
Well, I was all in that pain. I was in excruciating bone pain for the time. Every time I worked, I worked through the whole thing without being diagnosed. I was having the spasms and the electrical shocks. And I remember after working a 40-hour shift, I would be in fetal position at home because when I'm at work, I'm so much full of adrenaline.
Yeah, focused and
and my adrenaline is so high that I don't feel all this stuff. Even when I was sleeping at station, I was still up. But
and
when
of
I got
course,
home,
you didn't know, did you? You didn't have a diagnosis, so you didn't know what you.
It was in the back of my head I had MS. Having enough background in the medical field, I knew what I had, but I couldn't get diagnosed because of my work. And I had a high pain threshold, so I couldn't be like, oh, my pain's 10 on 10 when it's really small. I mean, my pain threshold's really high, and I can give you examples later. But so what led up to it was I was unable to urinate, and then so I had to get catheterized. And now I'm self-cath from now on.
Right.
And so the urologist sent me to get another MRI of my brain and my spinal cord, thinking, well, let's go this route now. And the majority of my holes in my head, or lesions, or plaque, or whatever people want to call them now.
Yeah.
The majority of them are my frontal lobe. And
so can I just stop you there and ask you, because I'm sure the people who are watching now would probably be quite interested to know if you knew how many lesions you have in your brain and your spinal cord, if you have them in your spinal cord. Do you know the number of lesions you have?
Yes, I have a total of 3 in my spinal cord, and I have a total of 8 at the beginning, which was really cool. Ocrevus has shrunk all of my other ones except my frontal ones.
Okay, so you're on Ocrevus as a treatment. So we'll come on to that in a minute.
Yes.
But just quickly, I should have actually asked for people viewing out here as well. You said you have PPMS.
Yes, correct.
But people, you might want to explain what PPMS is to people, because a lot of people may not understand what that.
So what I've been learning as an MS, and I'm doing this all by myself, is that you have the different stages of MS. You have remitting, you have secondary, and then you have PPMS. And then there's one at the very beginning of this called clinical identification, something where they're not sure what they have, but they're right on the same track.
Yeah.
So what PPMS is basically, I call it the stage 4 of MS, because the thing is, it's primary progressive, means I am progressing. I will not have a let up. I will not stop.
Okay.
I will not go in remission. I will progressively get sicker and sicker and sicker.
So PPMS means that there is no remission with your MS. You never have periods of remission at all.
That's correct. And that's the way it was explained to me. Explained to me. I keep saying that word. By the neurologist and the MS neurologist. And it might be different with other people. Other people have different journeys with their MS. So they could have PPMS, and they could have whining and waning, where it will it will be there, but as you know, it's there, but it's not frustrating. It's not putting you out of commission.
Yeah.
And then it'll all of a sudden kick your ass. And
can it be times like maybe where there are days that are worse than others, where you may have a worse day than another day? Kind of thing.
Yeah, there are more worse days than there are good days. But the thing is, however, for me, again, I have high pain thresholds. I think my bad days are towards the end of my Ocrevus wearing out. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so actually I was just about to ask. So I've always understood, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that treatments like Ocrevus were always used for people with relapsing remitting MS. I didn't think that it could help people with progressive MS. So can you correct me if I'm wrong, and please tell me all about that, because that's really interesting to me, and I've totally learned something new today, because I wasn't sure that there were too many treatments out there for people with progressive MS. I did.
You just educated me about that it was used for RMMS. I never knew that. I just know what the stats were here for in America or California, what they told me.
Yeah.
So what's really cool, I'm that golden ticket for this medication, is because the stats are males 38 to 50 something, Hispanic male.
Oh, really? Hi.
Hi, 49. And I fell into that gap. And I forgot the rest of your question. My brain is actually throbbing.
I will remind you. So I was on Campath. I was on a Campath trial, and I know that it's not exactly the same, but it works in the same way as killing off the cells. And I know that Campath can't be used, or isn't effective, shall I say, on progressive MS. It only really is effective when you catch the remitting, relapsing MS quickly, and it's more effective when you do it that way. So, no, I've really learned something new today about Ocrevus, and also I think there are quite a few people who are going on to Ocrevus today, I think, who would be really interested in understanding a bit about the treatment and how it's working for you. So, how have you found Ocrevus?
Oh, it's my crack. It's it's my Hulk juice. It's Superman juice. It's something I look forward to every 6 months. I can't wait to get it.
Wow, that sounds like good stuff.
Oh, yeah. However, I could tell towards the 5th or 6th month that I need it because I need my leg braces. I have a wheelchair I don't need right now, or my leg braces right now. I have a torn meniscus in my knee and I can't feel it because, again, I have a high pain threshold. And
So do
Ocrevus
you
is
feel
like,
sorry for interrupting. What do you
no,
feel
go for
that
it.
the Ocrevus does for you, and when does it kick in for you? When you when you have that treatment, how long does it start to take effect from, and what are the effects for you?
So you go in the treatment, and your first time going through an infusion center, and with the COVID going on, they have their own rooms and stuff like that, and they got these massage chairs, heated chairs, and you just bring a snack and you go for sleep for 6 hours, and it's effective right away.
Okay, that's
Right
interesting.
away.
Really interesting.
But the thing is, what they give you is also steroids. They give you a cocktail: Benadryl, steroids, and then Ocrevus.
Yeah.
The Benadryl is so you don't have an allergic reaction, but it's a good nap, you know. And then the steroid is
sleep through it.
And the steroid is to help you because what happens is when the Ocrevus kicks in, it squashes your immunities for a little bit, and that's why you can't leave the house for a few weeks.
Yeah.
You're more suppressed.
Yeah.
So you're like a brand new infant baby.
Yeah. You just really need to kind of be wrapped up in cotton wool and
there you go.
Look after yourself.
Basically,
yes. Few weeks.
But it's effective right away. I don't feel anything. I feel euphoric. I feel great. I walk for miles. Like I said, I have a torn meniscus. I have a pain threshold that's out of this world, but yet I could go miles on this knee. And
that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah.
So you've said that you've had all this trouble basically from your 20s. You then got diagnosed in 2018. How old were you when you got diagnosed? Sorry if you don't mind me asking.
You want me to do math on my brain?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's 2021? 2021, 2018? I don't know. That's hard. It is hard. 40s. Yeah, in my 40s actually. But 40s. I thought, but looking back, having a medical background, I think I had MS when I was 15.
Really, that far ago?
MS hugs, yeah.
Were you relieved when you had your diagnosis, or how did it make you feel?
I didn't feel anything. I knew I had MS. Me being in the medical background, and I'm not saying I'm Doctor Who and all this other stuff. I have a father-in-law that's a doctor. I have a wife that's a nurse practitioner. My mom's a director, an RN, and so I collaborate with them to see what's going on. So I knew I had MS going into it. So I had to go see a specialist, and that's when they diagnosed with me with PPMS.
Okay.
With PPMS, I knew what it was, but the first thing I told the doctor is like, I don't want to chase anything right now. I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot in the field that worse off than me, and losing my sister to cancer, my dad to cancer. I just want to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
It's an important thing. So if you could, bearing in mind how people may feel when they're very first diagnosed and they're going through everything that, you may have gone through, like the pain, the worry, the stress, the unknown, the isolation, everything like that. What advice could you give to somebody who is newly diagnosed?
I'm trying to figure out how to start something of like having a MS buddy, like one-on-one, like you and I.
Yeah.
And then having the MS buddy who has diagnosed already. I have the senior buddy that has all this stuff, and then actually could pinpoint the loopholes to avoid. For the person or the patient that hasn't been diagnosed yet, ask your questions. Don't be satisfied with the care. If you're unhappy with it, go somewhere else. That's what they're talking about, stopping with doctors. Remind yourself, and this is coming from someone from a medical background, so remind yourself that they're practicing medicine. Ask your important questions, push, because guess what? At the end of it, when they diagnose you, they send you home. Right? And that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Go through your stages of grief and all this other stuff, because that's what we're going to be going through at the beginning. And I thought, me being all gung-ho and Class A personality, I was great for the pain, the spasms. I knew how to handle that stuff, but the mental health.
Yeah.
When they diagnosed me with frontal lobe issues, I before I got on medication, I was crying every day. I was stressed out every day. I was lashing out. Wasn't me. It wasn't Ed. Yeah. But for the patient, push those things. Push your doctors. If you don't like the doctors, go to another one.
Yeah. Get
a MS buddy. Get an MS buddy or something.
Yeah, someone that you can talk to, someone that you can relate to. I think somebody who can at least understand something that you're going through. Similarly, for those people who have had MS for a long time, like yourself, you know, because it's scary for somebody who's newly diagnosed, but equally somebody who's been diagnosed for a long, long time, it's not any less scarier. We still have our moments where we worry, and you know, you can think too deeply into your MS. So would you say that person does the same thing, or do they handle it in a different way because they've had MS longer?
Do you know what I found out in the MS community? It's a closed off community. It's the individuals. I'm not saying the big community is closed off. It's the individuals are closed off because we have been put in a very very vulnerable situation that we can't understand what's going on with our bodies. And then if you don't have a medical background and the doctors are feeding you candy, which is the medication, you're just like, okay, but you're not understanding what's going on. Did I hit your point?
Yeah, definitely. So you're sort of saying that, like, learn about it, learn your body, learn the different
educate yourself, because my thing is, if you're working and they're going to retire you, what else do you have to do?
Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of people in this position, people who have had to leave work, had to retire early, through no fault of their own, through the fault of our MS, you know, and it's hard because physically we can't manage, but mentally we're still all there.
Oh yeah.
You know? But
what I found out is the fact that people do not want to hear the real thing about it. I've ran into a lot of, like, I'm straightforward, Class A personality, but the frontal lobe even puts me a Class A plus out of this world personality. But people do not like to see or hear the truth. And
I think it's a
big hard pill to swallow, because
it's hugely scary.
Yeah, because what do we, before we get sick, your age, my age, in our 30s and our 20s, we think we're invincible. We don't think until later on.
Oh, yeah.
I still think mind over matter, right? It's all in your head.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like in one of my other videos, I said, you know, I still would like to go and do all the crazy things that I used to do, but unfortunately the MS stops you. You can't go and do that. It kind of knocks you back a few years, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. If we had enough time, I could tell you about all my injuries I thought I could do, and I continue to do it, and I continue to have my injuries, and it's because of MS, and I can't feel things, but I still push myself. I am that still person that I don't want to get people down right now, but I know eventually I won't be able to walk.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take every single opportunity.
You have to be. I mean, this is the point of it, is to be open and honest about MS, and this is the biggest thing, is creating awareness of it, creating awareness.
The uncomfortable part of I'm sorry for cutting you off, but what's uncomfortable is like when I had to cath myself the first time. You know, here I've been doing stuff to people, poking, prodding, and making them naked and embarrassed in the field, you know, but I was saving their lives at the same time. Then it was me that was the patient, you know, and here I was cathing myself for the first time, and the nurse was like, "Oh, you don't like sticking yourself." I was like, "No, it just feels weird to be on the opposite end of sticking
To be
yourself."
on the other end. Yeah.
And now I'm like, you know what? After I got over that initial thing, you know, me being a hero rescuing people, I use that very lightly because it's part of our job. Is the fact that when you do it to yourself, you're not prepared. When you do it for training for other people, and you do
it's just an automatic response, isn't it? To do.
Yeah, so now I'm in my mental head now, since I'm mentally medicated now, and I'm back to ed, is that, you know what? Brain fart again. Even though I was an EMT in the field, I'm no longer an EMT. I'm a patient, plus I'm my provider. I know what to do for myself. That's what's given me the up. So,
and plus, I think going back to what you said about educating yourself, I think that's probably something that you said about earlier, and I think that you've probably done a lot of that, which is maybe why you're a lot more comfortable with the situation and where you are at the moment. But I mean, I do think that we need to grow a bigger community, and help bring awareness of it, and help others, and let them know that it's not as scary as what it is or what it seems, and that there are people out there to support, and that we're here to talk if anybody wants to talk.
Cheers. I think what it is there's a lot of people that I know that I don't know. I got to take that back. There's a few people I know that have MS that should be mentoring, and the other people I talk to are just at the beginning of it and stuff like that, or they don't understand what's going on. But however, I think there are communities out there. There are apps out there, but it's trying to find that hook and sink, and who do you latch onto, who do you attach to. Yeah. I think you don't see a face or verbal. I think it's something like you and I would do this, or I would love to get in touch and help people. I used to be an instructor, so I have that teaching.
Definitely. Absolutely. People would love that. I mean, I don't know what you feel, or I don't know what you felt about doing this today. I know it, like I said, it's quite a big thing, putting your story out there. It's personal to you. It's something that you've been through, but I really do appreciate you sharing it with us and sharing your story, because everybody's story is going to be so individual to everyone. And I think that's going to be our time for today. But if everybody's watched us and they thought they want to hear more, or they want to know more about your treatment or anything, you can contact Ed as well, can't you, Ed? I'll put your details in the description below. Are you happy for that? Anyone to contact you and reach out to you?
Yeah, I have Instagram, and then I have my email. So they could contact me that way. I'm very open, or they could actually, I don't know, whatever way they can. I will see how we'll go forward with that. I would love to help out. I think it's an awesome thing that you're doing to spread out the awareness, and let's continue to do it. Let's keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Ed, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you on, and thank you again for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was awesome. I hope I was able to help people out there, and thank you for having me.
Massively. I'm going to go to bed now, so night, everyone. No, I'm only joking. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you soon. Thanks,
All right,
Ed.
thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Oh, you've disappeared. Oh, you're back again.
Back. There you go.
Hi. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Right, I need to make sure this is stable. Okay, right, I'll stop recording. Hey, that
Okay,
guy
this-
from Petaluma. Pentalupa.
Pentalupa. Oompa Loompa.
Petalupa.
Oompa Loompa. Oh! Petaluma.
Petaluma, California. And I've got my first volunteer today. His name is Ed, and he's from Petaluma.
There you go.
California.
Guinea pig.
Excited. I just can't hide it.
Oh, I dropped it. You knocked the phone down.
See, this is what I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say something similar to them?
What? I forgot what you're. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, everybody. No, hang on. That wasn't right. Hang on. Right. Sorry. It's like, shh.
Better?
No. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it. What was that?
Fan.
Oh. Do you need it on, though?
No, I don't.
Okay,
A lot better.
Cool. Yeah, that's much better, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Your mic's gone.
How's that?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me better? Or should I?
Yeah, much better. Yeah.
Okay,
that was quite good. Should we stop it and start again? Do a proper...
Yeah. I